This episode is brought to you by 20th Century Studios' new film, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, starring Golden Globe winner Jeremy Allen White and Academy Award nominee Jeremy Strong. Scott Cooper, the director of the Academy Award-winning movie Crazy Heart, brings you the story of the most pivotal chapter in the life of an icon. Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. Only in theaters October 24th. Get your tickets now.
I'm always looking for ways to show my cat how much I love her. And with Fancy Feast gems, I can pamper her whenever I want with a savory gravy on top of a gourmet mousse pâté. The pyramid shape makes serving simple, so all I have to do is peel and plate to make mealtime feel extra fancy. And with 2 entrees in every pack, it's easy to turn every day into the extraordinary. Fancy Feast gems.
The detective said missing kids usually come home. What happens when they don't?
Based on a true story.
Police looking for John Gacy.
We discovered bodies. By the looks of it, they're younger men.
The things he did to those kids. He's sick.
The system failed these families.
Devil in Disguise, John Wayne Gacy. Streaming now, only on Peacock.
Do you know how many there are?
Up to you to find out.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and those who don't identify as either, you are listening to a bonus episode of Ratchet and Respectable. I have thoughts. I have so many thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts. Some thoughts I can't share. I've learned over the years that I don't need to have a public opinion on everything. Sometimes I can just have an opinion that I keep to myself or share with the group chat, and that's as far as it goes. Oh, read between the lines. Read between the lines. But I do have thoughts. There's just a lot of stuff going on right now. And I'm in like a weird space with the way that I'm thinking about things. And I need to like talk it through. I've done this enough times where I know when something's happening. But I've been going through a shift. I'm transitioning from one space to another. Like I've been feeling the discomfort of it. I thought I was having that feeling because of everything that's going on with the condo situation. The condo it represents a lot of things to me other than just being like a place for shelter. And I thought the situation with the condo just being consistently in flux was what was sending me off. Now that a couple big stories have come up in the zeitgeist and I've been thinking about my take on them, I realized that one, I think my shift is coming to an end, but also that I've had a major shift in that the opinions that I currently have, I probably would not have held 6 to 9 months ago. Maybe even 3 months ago. Or one of the things that came up in last week's podcast, I opted not to talk about it. It's not entirely true. I talked about it in the episode and then I edited out because I didn't like my take on it. And I was like, let me sit on this one for a second. And I'm glad that I did. At some point in the podcast, I mentioned we were going to talk about Mark Lamont Hill. And I removed the portion that I spoke about from the published version of the episode. Mark Lamont Hill is on the Joe Budden podcast, which many people, self-included, have been like, why? On one of the episodes last week, Mark and another co-host on the show, Flip, Queen's Flip, I think is his name. I'm not familiar with him. I have no real context for him because I think the only times I've ever watched any portion of the Joe Budden podcast is when it's something involving Mark Lamont Hill and some drama that is happening on the podcast. I watched a clip of their confrontation. I don't remember what set it off, but Flip accuses Mark Lamont Hill, Dr. Mark Lamont Hill, it's important in this context, of, what did he say? Hold on, let me look it up because I want to make sure I get the quote right. Tricky words. He accuses him of using tricky words. Mark responds to him, he says, I use regular words. They're just tricky to you. Flip feels a way about that response. The two of them go back and forth. It's more about ego than actually proving a point about whatever the conversation topic was. I can't remember exactly what Flip says to Mark, but Mark feels very disrespected, kind of like Flip was trying to stun him. And Mark ends up like exploding. He gets up out his chair. At one point, I did think there was the possibility of them coming to blows, especially when Mark jumped up. It quickly de-escalated into like, let's continue this conversation, not like, let's throw hands. I thought it took Mark Lamont Hill out of his character because he's, pretty middle of the road guy. Like, he's the smart guy in the room. Not that I'm a devotee of his, but I've never seen him like this excitable before. And I was like, oh, I didn't know Mark had this side to him, but does. I watched the episode and my first thought was, why is he there? Most of your audience pre-Joe Budden would not think that this was the circles that you hang out in. I did another rant on the pod, and I pulled it because I was like, you know what? Here's where I knew I changed. Let me go back. A few months ago, there's a big blow up on the Breakfast Club. Just Hilarious does a video where she airs out her grievances with the Breakfast Club. In short, she's like, what is Lauren doing here? I went away for maternity leave and, she sat in, cool. And I came back and she's still here. And I'm trying to figure out like what's going on. Cause like she's doing segments that would usually be my segments. And like, is she the new me? Like, is my job in jeopardy? Like, do we now have 4 co-hosts? Like, WTF? And I'm asking and nobody's telling me. So like now I'm asking and forcing the issue to be addressed. It was a unique way because I was like, girl, you just had a baby. Like, you need this job. Like, I know you tour, you got comedy and all that or whatever, but you also need this like good job that I believe has benefits. Like, this is good for you and the family. And at the time, I said it on here. I can't lie because y'all can pull the receipts. I was like, Jess is not being treated well on the show, which by her own account, she said that, right? That wasn't me inferring anything. But also Lauren addressed some issues and she talked about the way that Jess speaks to her, the way that Jess treats her. Some things have been going on with management. And I was like, oh no, like Lauren's fucking amazing. Lauren is very poised, very proper. She comes from a TMZ background. I was like, no, Lauren gotta go. Like, she gotta go somewhere else. Like, she's too good for the space. She needs to get up from the table when love is no longer being served. She needs to go where she's appreciated because Lauren is the next big thing and she's not going to be able to be that at the Breakfast Club. I don't like the way Charlamagne talked to her. I don't like the way dismissed both of the women's concerns when they were talking about the issues. Envy, I didn't like the way he responded to it. And I was like, no, this is hostile. This is an HR nightmare. Like, this is bad all around. Since that time, let's say it was 4 months ago, Lauren LaRosa has taken off like some kind of rocket ship. In retrospect, I'm not entirely sure that whole air out grievances behind the scenes, everybody and their mom was talking about Jess and Lauren, who until that time, I don't really think I paid that much attention. I knew there was somebody sitting in for Jess, like she was doing the news. I thought she was really good at it until this whole thing blew up. And I was like, oh no, they shouldn't be treating the new woman like. Since that time, Lauren has blown the fuck up. She's got her own podcast, which is doing really well. Like, I don't know the numbers, but I know that it ranks really high. So like the numbers are good. She's hosting all the things. She's covering the Diddy trial. She's got sponsors. I think she did a keynote for her alma mater. She was in Forbes. And I was like, yo, but I made a judgment about what was best for what Lauren should be doing without knowing Lauren's purpose and what her mission was. So the reason I scrapped what I had to say about Mark was because I'm looking at it from the outside in and I'm like, Mark, you sitting over here flipping out. Like, it's not the worst thing ever. And like, I don't usually watch the Joe Budden podcast or really pay attention to what's going on over there. But now I'm actually watching clips and tuning into the episode. And then I'm on Mark's Patreon paying $3 for a 30-minute video to find out what else Mark has to say. Like, what is his take on what happened? I saw somebody online criticizing the Joe Budden podcast and they were talking about the format of it. And they were like, hey, does this podcast really need 6 guests or 8 guests? And I was like, personally, I like to do a one-woman show. Every once in a while, I'll interview someone. Some of y'all write in when I do too many interviews back to back and like, hey, I don't tune in for the interviews. Like, it's cool when you do them, but like, I really tune in to hear you. Cool. Different formats work for different people. And to be frank, Joe Budden has a podcast of like all them people on it. Also one of the, if not the highest ranking Black podcasts. So something's going right. And then Mark Lamont Hill, like me and a lot of other people will ask like, well, what are you doing over there? Like, why are you talking to them? Like, it's lowbrow. You're not a lowbrow person. You have a PhD, for the love of God. He has a reach. His reach on Joe Budden's podcast is probably bigger than it was when he was on CNN. At the time, it was a respectable news organization. But just in terms of like eyeballs and listeners and reach. And this is how I end up buying this $3 video, because Mark Lamont Hill, after all of this has happened, addresses it in his Patreon page, which I skipped this part. So when he's going back and forth with his co-host, Mr. Flip, one of the criticisms that Flip has of him is that, he's on the Joe Budden podcast, but he keeps doing all these, this is my word, not Flip's, but these side quests. Like he's always doing all this like extra stuff outside of the podcast. This is part of what I said last week, and I took it out, but I'll say it again because I think this part is actually true. It feels to me like Mr. Flip's ceiling is the Joe Budden podcast, and this is Mark Lamont Hill's floor. He's there because, well, I'll go by what his version of it is, because he talked about it in this $3 video on Patreon. And that's part of why I was like, bruh, like, what are you doing? Like, you're hanging out with people who, like, and this is part of the reason I pulled it in my head. This is what I was thinking. You're hanging out with people who have gone as far as they're going to go, whereas this kind of just seems like something for you to do while you figure out your next thing. That was my take. I didn't like the way that sounded. I thought it sounded a bit obnoxious, which I can be sometimes, but that was a little obnoxious even for me. And so I was like, like, let's sit on this take for a minute. Let's roll this around. If nothing else, see if there's like a better way to say it. But also let's like wait for this story to like shake out, which I'm glad I did. After doing this for this being this podcast, but also being a journalist for, I don't know, the better part of 25 years at this point. My God, I'm old. You kind of just learn through trial and error when to like take a beat and not have a take. I think with journalists and podcasters too, just people who are in the media space, content space in general, people often want to be first to respond to something. They want to be timely with it. But you do it long enough, especially if you're not in hard news, it's better to be accurate than it is to be early. Mark Lamont Hill does this 30-minute episode, which I actually think was worth the $3. He likes it. He likes it. He likes being over on the Joe Budden podcast. And he said more than once that I am happy there. He feels that the work he does over there matters. He said in no succinct terms that he is not desperate. He is not over there because he's failed at other projects. He was like, I've worked for other news organizations. He's been at CNN. He's been at HuffPost. He's been at Al Jazeera. And he was like, and yes, now I'm on the Joe Budden podcast because I want to be here. He mentioned that the podcast, I want to say he said like, did he give the numbers for the podcast? I didn't write it down, but for some reason it's like 8 to 10 million is what pops in my head. He said that he finds the podcast to be an opportunity to talk and to teach and to learn. So he was like, yes, I'm over there and I'm talking. And yes, I'm over there and I'm teaching things. I'm informing people of things that they may not know. I'm adding to the discussion. But he was like, I'm also learning things. So like, yes, I may know a great deal about these certain things, but I also have knowledge gaps and they know things about other things. Like it might be real estate, it might be art, it might be whatever. But he was like, I am learning those things by being in conversation. He says unequivocally that he is not too smart for the Joe Budden podcast. And he's like, when people come up to him in public, which I get the feeling that they do on a regular basis, he says that he actually doesn't like it when people say like, you're too smart to be there. And he was like, it's really just sort of like offensive to people that I actually like, my colleagues, that people that I like and care about. Like it's rude to say. He says he's in community. And he says he's also done pop culture and entertainment for like a really long time before he got to the Joe Budden podcast. He was like, in my early years, like I used to do like music reviews. I've covered hip hop and music and pop culture for a very long time. This is not new. Like you might know me from politics and hard news because I did that at one point, but I also do culture. Like that's my thing and I really like it. This is the thing that really got me. He said, if you really genuinely believe that the Joe Budden podcast is like so awful, it's like, he didn't say red pill, but this is me saying red pill. If you think it has no redeeming qualities, if you think it's like a circle jerk, if you think it's bad for the culture and people are just out here talking about nonsense, right? Wouldn't you want somebody to be in the room with some sense to say like, hey, this is wrong and y'all don't have facts and this is not intellectual and this is inaccurate and this is dumb. Like, don't you want somebody in the room? This is me, not him, calling shenanigans. Like, didn't you want that? He's right. I have a much deeper respect for him after after this whole incident, but also like after watching his Patreon, because he's his own person. I appreciated that Mark was like, hey, like I hear all these different things from all these different factions. All these people are trying to support me in all these different ways. But he was like, the truth of the matter is I didn't ask y'all to say shit. I didn't ask your opinion on what to do. He was like, when you tell me what you think I should do or not do or where I belong or don't, he was like, you're kind of robbing me of my autonomy and my agency. Me saying it, not him, but basically I'm a grown ass man. I can make my own decisions and I'm there because I want to be there and I'm happy there. So like, let me be and stop calling for me to go somewhere else. If I wanted to go, I would. I don't leave because I don't want to. I actually get it and I respect it. It's a perspective that I didn't have, like I said, like 3 months ago. Because 3 months ago, I was like, Mark, baby, like, why? Like, you need some money? No, he has a purpose and he has a mission and it's working for him. I didn't get why he was there, but also I didn't get what the purpose and the mission was. He likes this shit. Like he wants to be in community. He wants to reach people where they are. And if that's the goal, I mean, it's working and he making money off of it. I don't know how much Joe is paying him, but like I think like the monthly subscription was $10. And then like the 30-minute video was $3. And I was like, did I just pay this man 10 cents a minute? Did. And then started scrolling through other videos to see what else he was talking about. And I was like, the mortgage is paid.
Every story you love, every invention that moves you, every idea you wished was yours, all began as nothing. Just a blank page with a blinking cursor, asking a simple question. What do you see? Great ideas start on Mac. Find out more on apple.com/Mac.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the Dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
Layla Ali and Clarissa Shields, I can't say that they've been beefing. Clarissa Shields has been hollering nonstop for, I thought it was recent because I just really started paying attention to her when she started dating Papoose, which I still don't understand. But also, I don't know her purpose. I know he's a married man, though. She put up something today, I think it was on Baller Alert. She had on a little red dress, and Papoose posted a picture of her from the back. And he says, there's nothing as special as watching greatness. And then he tags Clarissa. And then she responds to him, Daddy, am I your baby? Look, you want to call this man daddy? You want to be baby? Y'all want to have all sorts of kinky things going on? Because when people start saying that daddy baby shit, like, shit gets wild. That's how you want to live your life, so be it. Could you at least, like, just, I don't know, say it to a single man? People have dated while separated, while going through divorces. Not even divorce. Like, people just have straight up, like, full-blown affairs. Like, it happens. I don't condone it. It happens. Like, she is not the first. She will not be the last. To me, it looks crazy. I can have a firm opinion on this. Me, it looks crazy. Like, out here calling somebody else's husband daddy in public, no less. Y'all want to do what y'all do when only God is watching. Like, that's between you and your creator. But, like, must you really call this married man daddy? It's one thing if the man is married to you, but he's literally married to someone else and you calling him daddy. Okay, so Clarissa Shields, I thought she had just been antagonizing Layla Ali for like the last, like, I don't know, a few months. I know that she wants to fight at Layla Ali, and I'm like, ain't Layla Ali? She's 47 years old. That's great. I think Clarissa is 29, 30. Clarissa just turned 30. For whatever reason, Clarissa just really has this like hard clip for like wanting to fight Layla Ali. before Clarissa, she was the most popular women's boxer. I can't name you another one. I can only name you these two. But Clarissa, I guess, feels like it would like solidify her standing to fight Layla Ali, like they're in the same weight class. And I was like, yeah, like if you and Layla Ali were like, you know, around the same age, but like she's 17 years older than you. I don't understand why she wants to fight her so bad. And just like in general, antagonizing her. Like her version of events is Layla Ali has not been supportive of her. She's just been really negative about Layla Ali. I didn't really think much about it. Like I don't think the girl got good sense. Really because of the way she be carrying on with Pap and Remy. I never in a million years really expected Layla Ali to take any of this in any kind of way seriously. I think she responded at one point. Somebody had asked her about fighting Clarissa Shields, and she was like, you know, if it's like a $15 million bag, basically saying like she'd only do it for the money. And then Clarissa went, and I think she got somebody to put up a purse because she had like this gigantic check for 15 mil and was like, let's go, let's do it, let's fight. Layla Ali, over the weekend, put up a 27-minute video addressing Clarissa Shields. I watched the first 10 minutes, and it's basically receipt after receipt after receipt after receipt of Layla Ali and all her, like, polished diva. Look like a diva, but don't act like one. Basically dismantling everything that Clarissa Shields has ever accused her of. And she's like, Clarissa Shields says that I didn't support her. And she was like, early on in her career, like I had a job hosting a show about sports. And I told the producers, I want to do a segment on this young Black girl coming out of Michigan. And then was like, you know, roll the receipts. She says after the interview, they continued to stay in touch. She said Clarissa would hit her up. She would call her big sis. She would ask for advice. And Layla was like, you know, I was rooting for her. She was like, yes, I would give her advice about, you know, whatever she was asking for, but about boxing, about branding, about marketing, about management, about just whatever she needed as she was like, you know, coming up. Because I had been there and I liked her and she was asking. So I was trying to help. She says where things fell apart is she said that she did a radio show. At the top of the interview, they asked her about Clarissa Shields. She was like, you know, I praised her as a boxer. And she says later in the interview, they asked me about would I, you know, come out of retirement, would I return to boxing? And she said, there's nobody who I really, you know, feel is worthy of me fighting right now. And she said this is where she believes the beef came from, because after that is when Clarissa started saying like saucy shit about her. And she was like, this has been going on for years. I was like, wait, what? Years. And she was like, when I made that comment, she was like, I wasn't really even thinking about her. You know, this was my general thoughts on boxing. It wasn't like a personal shade. She didn't say this part, but also that's like 17 years my junior. So this goes on apparently for the rest of the video. I had to tap out after 10 minutes because I was like, the same thing that I initially said about Mark Lamont Hill and about Lauren LaRosa. I was like, what is your purpose? Like, I don't get it. Like, why are you doing this? Like, you are MF Layla Ali. Like, you are a living legend, the daughter of a legend who went and paved her own path. Like, why are you addressing this girl? Why? Layla Ali is a year older than me. People who closely follow Clarissa Shields, if they're outside the sport, if they just follow her as just, you know, it's like a fan, right? Don't have a concept of Layla Ali. If you only have Clarissa Shields' version, you just know that this woman was at one point a boxer. Like, you think maybe she's like a Nepo baby, which technically, yes, but like she also was talented and forged her own way. In your head, like if you don't have context for her, like you think that Layla Ali is really like a villain. So the Layla Ali that I know, quote and unquote, know, is she was a damn good boxer and kind of like a marketing dream. And I don't remember her at the height of her career, at least, being involved in bullshit and shenanigans. I'm sure she talked a little shit, as all athletes do, but she didn't like do anything crazy, like, you know, bite somebody on an ear or some shit. Like, I don't remember her saying anything super crazy that, like, I don't know, like a pubic hair on a Coke can or something. Like, she was upstanding. She retired and then she went on to like do TV. She's a commentator. She sponsored a bunch of stuff. Like, she's in good, respectable Black standing. But if you listen to Clarissa Shields' version of events, then you would think Layla Ali was some sort of like, I don't know, Nicki Minaj-esque aged protagonist who hates young women coming up in the game. I know y'all gonna come for my throat on that. It's fine, because I didn't lie. You would think that this is like a Nicki Cardi situation, and it's not. So that's why Layla Ali made this long ass video. I still feel like a good editor could have cut this thing down to like a good 3.5 minutes, but it was thorough. And apparently there's a part 2 because Layla Ali is going to address whether she will actually fight Clarissa Shields, which first thing in my head was like, Layla, no, you're 47. Why do you need to do this? Like, this is beneath you, which I actually do think it is. But is it to Layla? Because I don't know Layla's purpose. I don't know what, if anything, she has to prove, wants to prove. I don't know what her end game is. She's made this 27-minute video. I'm going to go ahead and assume that to invest 27 minutes, I mean, this is the edit. If the edit is 27 minutes, you haven't just done all this just to be like, nah, I just wanted to clear the air. I'm not really going to fight that girl. She's announcing something. It might not be a fight, but there's got to be some payoff for this, right? I'm recording this on Monday. As of today, Layla Ali has not given us an answer as to whether or not she's going to fight Clarissa Shields. We are still waiting on the part 2. I don't believe she gave a time or a date when that was coming. Again, I didn't watch the whole video, but I did read a couple articles about it, and nobody seemed to know when part 2 was coming. Let's do a quick Google. Wait, is Google down too? As I'm recording this, like, Amazon is down, Canva is down. No, it just took a minute to come through. No, there's no update on a part 2. So we're waiting, not so patiently, I should think, to see what Layla Ali decides.
Purina believes no one should have to make the impossible choice between their own safety and their pets. But nearly half of domestic abuse survivors delay leaving because they can't bring their pets with them. Through the Purple Leash Project, Purina is helping create more pet-friendly domestic violence shelters so survivors and their pets can escape and heal together. Visit Purina.com/purple to learn more.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Dripping in gold? That's cool. Dripping in Velveeta's supremely creamy golden cheesiness? That's respect. Elevate your drip with Velveeta's range of outrageously delicious dips and dishes. Shells, cheese, melty blocks, and heat and eat queso that go all in on indulgence. Flex on your fam with a creamy, cheesy masterpiece and go all in on what you love with Velveeta. Respect the drip and satisfy your cravings. Bring home the drip with Velveeta.
Oh, do we need to talk about this Brandy Monica concert? There is much conversation about it online. I feel like people are talking about everything but the actual news story. That's why I was like, y'all need journalists in the room sometimes. Like, and nothing against entertainers, influencers, celebrities who have microphones. Sometimes you really just need a journalist in the space to be like, this is the story, people. Monica and Brandy have the Boy Is Mine tour. Kelly Rowland, I want to call her opening, and she wasn't a support. Special guest. She was a guest appearance. Kelly fine as fuck. Look, I believe most days that I'm like a 0 on the Kinsey scale. A 0 is like the most heterosexual possible, right? I believe I'm like a 0. But then every once in a while, like, Kelly doing her guest appearance at Brandy and Monica, just looking like just a full snap. Kelly, it makes no sense it's like a real Barbie. Just, she's so gorgeous. And then there was a video last week, same day as the Victoria's Secret fashion show, whenever that happened. Meg, the stallion Meg, was walking down the hallway in this like cat suit. And I was like, That video was like an hour long. I don't know how many times I watched it. Like, girl, what? It's just so pretty. It's just pretty. Angel Reese, niece Angel Reese. She walked a dream fulfilled. Last year, she was a guest at the Victoria's Secret fashion show. She said, one day I would like to be an actual, model. I would like some wings. I want to walk. And so this year she had some wings and she walked. I had no idea. And Angel Reese, like, she wears like little skimpy Fashion Nova dresses for a while. Like, her fashion is doing much better right now. Like, the look they put together for her for the Vicky show was impeccable. I mean, Pat McGrath did her face. Like, of course she looked good. The hair was right. Sometimes niece does like a lot of the baby hairs. Auntie don't like that. But she's a young girl. She's experimenting with her looks and fashion, hair, beauty, all of those things. She should do what she feels to do. She will sort it all out. But I feel like she is sorting it out because, like, she's been looking like less baby hairs, and sometimes she has like really like the snuffleupagus lashes. She's like calmed down with the lashes. Her makeup is more like simple, better blended. She's got some outfits that I think there's nothing wrong with Fashion Nova. I have Fashion Nova pieces, but things that look like a better quality clothing, more upscale, maybe. She's looking real good. She looked really good at the Victoria's Secret fashion show. So she's like, coming down. And I'm like, look at niece. Like, just all those long legs. Like, she's 6'3" in flats. And then she's got on these 4-inch heels. Like, she's just this gorgeous, beautiful Amazon. And she's not like a model. So she's not like, super skinny. She's got like some meat on her, right? When we got to the side portion where you can see like the back portion, I had no idea, none, that she had all that going on back there. Like, I was like, what? It's there, and you could, by the way it moves, it's hers. Like, it was blessed. Niece is blessed, very blessed. Am I a 0 in the Kinsey scale? And Angel, that's me. She's a baby. But like Megan and Kelly, I was like, I feel like I may have moved up like a half a point. I was talking to one of my guy friends about it. And he was like, I don't believe it. And he was like, well, you see it. Like, what do you want to do to it? You want to smack it? And I was like, no, I don't know. That's like sexual harassment. And he was like, well, what do you want to do to it? And I was like, nothing. It's just like art. I think it's pretty. He was like, yeah, you're still straight. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you. Okay, so Brandy and Monica in this tour, they do a tour day in Chicago. I think this is the third day of the tour. Yes, they did Cincinnati and Milwaukee first. Okay, so they do Chicago on the 18th. I think that was Friday. By all accounts, the concert had been going pretty well. There were some sound issues throughout the concert. I heard Kelly's sound was really good. They said Kelly forgot the words to Cater to You, and I was like, in Kelly's favor. The song came out like 20 some odd years ago. I was like, they couldn't get Baby a teleprompter? Because usually people have teleprompters. Allegedly, there should have been 20 more minutes to go of the show. Brandy, this is what I'm reading from one of my Facebook friends who was at the show. She said Brandy walked off stage. She was filmed talking to the tech folks and her team at length. She said it seemed for like people who were there that she walked off stage because she was mad because of the sound. I'm just going to read what this one person said, but it's consistent with the other commentaries that I've read. Like, her summary encapsulates everything that I've read from other people. She says Brandy walked off the stage saying her sound was messing up and to give her a minute. And then she went over to the sound bar and production and she went off on them. And she said those of us close to the stage could see her and some people started recording. She said when security realized people were recording, they started shining flashlights so that people would stop. Brandy stormed off and never returned. They said Monica came out. She sang the rest of her songs. She gave an inspirational speech, and then the lights came on, and we, the concert goers, were left to guess that the concert was over. Actually, I think I will read you somebody else's version. I like the way that she says this. This woman says, the sound system was trash the whole time. I was actually flabbergasted. She said by the time they came out, we turned up because we loved them, but the sound quality was still poor. We just ignored it. She's fast forwarding. Brandy goes away. Monica comes back out and she says the lights came on abruptly and nobody, not a DJ, an usher, a janitor, nobody came out and said nothing. Didn't even say the concert was canceled. It was finished. Nothing. Security didn't know and they were confused. And then they started pushing us out the door and it was raining. And so this woman says, yes, I am upset. I bought those tickets in advance in anticipation of my childhood personalities colliding. We want our good sis to be healthy. We'll get to that in a second. However, it was handled terribly. This happens Friday night. The next day, Brandy releases a statement explaining why she left the stage. My dear fans in Chicago, thank you for the overwhelming love, support, blah, blah, blah. She says, I sincerely apologize for the abrupt end to last night's performance in Chicago. After a week of nonstop rehearsals, last night I experienced dehydration and feelings of wanting to faint. Everyone involved agreed that prioritizing my well-being was of the utmost importance. She continues, I still made the decision to try and return and give it my all despite not feeling okay, with having to make some adjustments and the show being very technical. Unfortunately, it was impossible to fully connect sonically with the production. I really appreciate everyone's best efforts. She says, I'm deeply grateful to my sister Monica for stepping up with such grace and professionalism and the entire crew for their continued care and support. She says, I wait from the arena to see a doctor nearby, and I've taken the proper precautions to help moving forward. Your understanding, patience, and unwavering belief mean the world to me. I look forward to returning to the stage stronger and more grateful than ever alongside my girl Monica tonight in Indianapolis. With all my love, Brandy. There's been criticism of the statement. Like some folks were like, it took too long for it to come out. And I was like, the show ended on Friday night. They issued a statement on Saturday. It's not like they waited through the weekend, which even if they did, Monday would have been the first business day. They had a show in Indianapolis. I would imagine they needed to reassure people that like Brandy's fine and the show will go on there. It's not being canceled. So like they released it before the show in Indianapolis. I feel like the next day is still like in good standing to release a statement. Some people have talked about like it not being a good statement. It's a little wordy. Like you could hear me stumbling over the words a little bit as I read it. I would have given it a nice, good edit. The thing that stands out to me about this statement that no one seems to be talking about is based on what the fans said happened at the show, this statement is incongruous. The fans are like, she was complained about the sound, went to the edge of the stage, and then was fussing at people about the sound, and then went off stage, never to return. Monica comes, the lights go up, everyone's just confused, nobody says anything. This statement doesn't address that, like, there were technical issues. Like, it kind of, like, breezes over it. It says something like she wasn't able to connect sonically. Huh? If I was going to make a fuss about what happened at the concert and then like the statement, my fuss would have been, so what does the dehydration have to do with you cursing out the people on the side of the stage? Because like we see you. And not only did we see you, we have you on video. So are we gonna pretend that didn't happen? Like that's a little gaslighty to me. Also, is the dehydration, and I hate to be the person to do this, and I'm gonna be this person anyway. Were you really dehydrated? Or is that like an excuse that you're making? I know this sounds so bad. I know it does. I'm still going to keep going with it though. It sounds to me, and I would like to give Brandy the benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to call the girl no names. I'm not going to go off. I'm not going to go on one of my like red wine type spills about it. But like it seems to me, just based on, the version of events of people who attended the concert, it seems like she had like a bit of a diva moment. And understandably upset about the sound because you know that the sound is off and people aren't going to be like, oh, the sound producers, the engineers are fucked up. People are going to be like, I paid all that money for Brandy and Monica. They couldn't pay for good sound. They fucked up my night, blah, blah, blah. They wasted my money. It's all going to be like blamed on them. And also as an artist, you have prepared and practiced and you want to give your audience a great show. And now it's fucked up through no fault of your own. Like you've come with your voice sounding how it's supposed to sound. And the sound people got you out here sounding crazy. Like I get the anger, but also it just seems that the reason she exited the stage, according to the people who were present at the concert, was she was pissed about the sound. And then she went away and didn't come back and they were just left confused. And like the press release doesn't really address that. I wasn't connecting sonically is not the same as saying like I had a fucking tantrum because I was pissed about the sound and like I walked off stage never to return. Like that's the issue. It is possible that she was upset about the sound and she was also experiencing dehydration. It's possible. Is it likely? I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm reading people's accounts, multiple people's accounts of what happened, and they all have the same version of, she was upset about the sound, then she went to the side, then she cursed people out, and like, here's the video, and then she went away, and then now you get a version of like, oh, she's dehydrated. Like, she could have been aggy because she was dehydrated. That's a thing when you don't feel well, when you're experiencing like health issues, like every little thing like annoys you more than it might usually have. Like, it would explain a lot. I feel like that's the issue that people aren't like discussing, like the what happened at the show, and then what's being said in the press release, and then what's seen on video are not aligned. You want to make a fuss about something, like that might be the fuss that you wanted to make, not like whether the press release was effective for crisis comms or whether the language was right. That's what I would have focused on. But we're not the same person. Do we want to talk about The Perfect Vine? Do we have time? I could save it. Not The Perfect Vine. That's Gabrielle Union. The Perfect Neighbor. Both on Netflix. Both about Black people. Two entirely different shows. Let's save that for tomorrow, because you're getting this on Tuesday. A Wednesday episode is still going up. It's only a 24-hour or so delay, but that show just came out on Netflix over the weekend, because I like to do spoilers. So let's wait an extra day, and then we can discuss The Perfect Neighbor. Last but not least, I said online that today is the last day for See Some World merchandise. I said that I was shutting it down at 11:59 p.m. on Monday. This podcast is not going to make it up until Monday night, maybe even Tuesday morning, possibly. So I'm going to let it run, and I'm only telling you about it. I'm going to let it run until Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. So if you want See Some World merchandise, it's still available on the site until the latest of Tuesday night. Also, Ratchet and Respectable merchandise started shipping last week. It's still going out. There were a lot of orders. The printer and the warehouse have been working overtime trying to get the merchandise in and then trying to get the merchandise out to its forever homes. I do have extra. I know my people. I know y'all by now. I know I've been doing this for a minute. I do have extra Ratchet and Respectable merchandise. Only ordered extra of the merch lines that were like the most popular during pre-orders. So I will put those on sale on Friday. I'm giving you a heads up here, giving you first dibs, because that's not pre-orders. I just ordered extra, so you're going to have to log on early to get that. It should be up, let's say Friday at noon, just to be safe, okay? So See Some World pre-orders will remain on sale until Tuesday night. And then Friday at noon, if you want Ratchet and Respectable, you can get it then. But you have to get it at noon, otherwise it's going to go. I have some stuff, I don't have a ton. I'll give you a reminder on the next episode this week, but put it in your calendar, okay? That is never everything, but it's what we've got. And I'll talk to you again later this week. Okay, bye.